Hey.
We are back, episode 58. We've got Gail Milburn joining us. We're going to talk Michigan Mead Cup and mead in general. But yeah, it's good to be back. I feel like it's been forever, but I think it's only been a week or two. But yeah, so good to be back. Gail, thanks for joining us. As you'll notice, Gail is a cool white dot because she's up in the great, almost white north. I heard she said earlier she got snow for a bit.
Wow.
So she's trying to do her best to manage signal quality, and she's going to stick with us with audio and see if we get this done. So bear with us if there's any little tweaks or pauses that we need to do. But Gail, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey, glad to be with you.
So the big topic or the focus is the Michigan Mead Cup, which just finished its judging and awards ceremony. Was it last weekend? I think so. So tell us, if you can, a little bit about like the history of the Mead Cup and kind of how you guys got started with that, if you can.
Can we lose you, Gail?
Yeah. Possibly.
We'll see. We'll see if her audio comes back. Maybe. In the meantime, what are you guys drinking tonight?
Oh, yeah, talking to us. I'm out of practice.
Sure.
It's been like a month since I've been on here. So hi everyone. I am in fact alive. Hams. That's me. I ran out of CO2, so I'm not pouring anything out of the kegs right now. But yep. So yeah, I'm just drinking on some hams tonight.
Do we got a Gail? I saw her reconnect. I think. Hey, no worries.
Welcome back.
If we need to keep doing that, then we can keep doing that. Well, while we have you, Gail, and before we even get into the Michigan Mead Cup, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm actually drinking water because I'm in my car.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have the heat going and stuff.
It's the only place I can get decent cell reception. So, yep, water
Yeah.
it is.
Well, thank you for joining us from where you can. That means a lot.
Well, I'm joining Jordan.
Breezy rural.
I'm kicking hams. Crazy. We got you're in. I was saying that I think before we disconnected, you're up north, where the signal's spotty, right? You're sitting out by a lake in Gaylord, right?
I'm sitting by a lake, which is usually really good reception, but not tonight, apparently.
No.
Well, that's better than where I'm at. Just sitting in my basement. I'd rather be by a lake.
Maybe your phone just needs to warm up a little. So what were you saying, Jason? You were asking Gail something before she cut off.
Oh yeah, I was kicking it in the Mead Cup. I think because I knew she was in her car and I was going to skip the what are we drinking, but I asked Gail, you're here to join us talk about the Michigan Mead Cup. I just didn't know if you can give us like a brief history on this, on the comp, how long it's been going, kind of what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah, so the Mead Cup started in 2013. It was part of the Michigan Honey Festival. And Gary Schultz was the guy who was running it back then from 2013 to 2017. And he had contacted me because they didn't know how to run a competition. So I tried to kind of walk him through it, but the Honey Festival folks kind of lost interest around 2015. Dropped it. I think in 2016 they might have dropped it. So we didn't have any mead competitions in Michigan, and everybody in my club started talking about a mead competition. And so the Motor City Mashers decided, oh yeah, this would be new. So 2018, we started it back up. So it's 2019, 2020, of course, last year. And then this year we're back on. And this is my last year of organizing it. So the Motor City Mashers will take it back next year.
Are you still going to be judging?
Oh, in the
Oh.
Bye, Gail.
We lost her again. Okay.
We're trying. Let me see if I can message her on the side. We might have to reschedule and pivot.
We have a backup plan, so it's fine. Oh, she's back in.
Wow, this is really bad tonight.
No worries, Gail. No worries.
No, not at all. It's up to you. I was just saying, if it gets too bad or you can't do it, we can always pivot the show and reschedule. We don't mean to put you through the pain. Totally up to you, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not really sure how it's coming across. So either way, but I think, like I was saying, the last 3 years we've been able to be part of Mead Maker of the Year, and we've got a lot of support from the American Mead Makers Association, and it's been kind of a world-class event for the last 3 years.
How many? I'm sorry. So you said you're not going to be organizing anymore. You're going to be passing it over to the Motor City Masters. Are you going to still be involved as a judge, or I just totally ripped off Brian?
I will. I'll still be involved as a judge. I'll probably still be doing some of the promos for it. I'm planning on moving up here to the Great White North, and I just won't have the ability to do everything fast.
How far of a drive up north are you right now?
Pardon me?
Oh, I said, how far of a drive up north are you right now? Like hour-wise, I guess.
Yeah, for me, it's like 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not. But it's like you're finding out the internet connectivity is pretty slow. It's organized from up here, unless I want to sit at the public library 24/7.
And we're gone.
Should we try to reschedule with her? Maybe.
I think that might be good. We're 9 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
I want to talk to her, and I wanted to make sure that she can, say the things she wants to say without having to repeat herself 5,000 times. So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we have video now?
No.
Maybe on accident. Bear with us while we figure this out. Thanks, all. The blessings and the curses of running a live show, I guess.
Right. Yep. There are challenges. So what are you drinking, Brian? We never covered you.
Oh, we never did.
My neighbor down the road from me has some apple trees in his backyard, and one of the things that he's always wanted to do was make a hard cider with his apples. I might have talked about this a few shows ago, but
yeah.
So I'm drinking some
Looks
of that
good.
cider right now. Yeah.
How'd it turn out altogether?
It's really good. I would enter it in a glint cap. I think it's pretty tasty. I'll have to have you try some.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got Gail back again too. Hey, Gail.
Again.
So Gail, we were saying, we can reschedule if you want. Like, it's really not a huge deal. Like, we caught you on video for a half sec too. It looked like you were standing outside, maybe even. Like, I don't know. We don't need you to like
No,
be freezing cold just to talk to us or something.
No, I am in my car, but the way that the light looks, it kind of looks like Blair Project.
Yeah, it's fitting for the season. It's perfect.
So if
yeah,
you want to keep trying.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
It's up to you guys.
Gail, we're hanging out and drinking beer, so we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are down for whatever. And you know what? If this isn't the greatest audio, we'll either edit or
do a round two.
Do a round two. Yeah. It just means we get to hang out with you again if you want. God,
for us,
if you don't, that's cool too. but no, it's fun. This is
that's
fun of doing a live stream.
I'll be back for next year. No, I'm kidding. Next week.
I think I was having an issue. So we can give another shot, and if you drop again, Gail, then we'll just call it, and like I said,
okay.
we'll try again next week. So
yeah,
so
that's fine. I'll be back in
cool
civilization.
Yeah, I can actually see the cell tower from here, but apparently you can't see me.
Isn't that great?
Well, so we
love it.
We know how long the Michigan Mead Cup's been going on now. How would you say that this year's entries were compared to some of the previous years? Has COVID affected the whole like mead competition scene, or did you limit it artificially a little bit this year, or how'd that go?
It was a little bit truncated this year. We have gotten entries from overseas in the past and didn't this year. We got, I think more of our entries were Michigan focused. So it was actually a little bit different. Some of our entrants were able to get in all 5 entries this year, and it wasn't as spread out. But I think the quality was amazing, again, as it has been in other years. And we just have some really, really creative mead makers in Michigan and all around the country. But the Michigan mead makers really brought it this year. I was really impressed.
It's weird because she just like
she sounds great, and then it just goes away. Yeah.
Wow.
So what's our pivot? I forget.
Yeah, I've been trapped in my house for a few weeks, so I'm just sticking my head out.
So Gail's back in the waiting room. Do we want to?
Oh yeah, go for it. Let's see what she says.
Hey Gail, welcome back.
This is what times.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
One of the best shows yet.
So you want to try again next week, do you think?
Yeah, that would probably be good. I could actually have video if you want to see my face,
there we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can drink with us.
Sure, I'll have a more stable connection.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sweat.
Oh, she got
God, I feel bad. You know what? Look, Gail's amazing. I know there's some masters on and stuff. She is super, super, great. We've had her on before talking AHA, and I was really looking forward to tonight. So I feel terrible. I know we're laughing, but
She was down
I
at
just
the
feel-
Bell's homebrew competition.
hung out with her there.
Expo 2, repping the AHA.
So I actually, this is my fault. This was actually supposed to happen the week of last Monday. What was that? I forget, the 18th or something like that. But I got called to California to work, so I asked Gail to move it off to this week so that we could talk. And I wanted to participate, and I didn't want to miss it.
Okay. See, I wondered. I thought we were supposed to have a show last week, but then I was like getting ready to get on. Then I had to go back and like revisit, and I was like, oh no, nothing's happening.
Yeah. This was so Gail, if you watch this and listen, this is my fault. I'm so sorry. I told her that. I'm like, I was being selfish. I wanted to be on the show with her to talk and hang out, and then it just coincided to a week that she had to be up north, and it didn't work out with cell signal. So I'm sorry. This is on me. Hilarious that it may be, but I do feel bad that she's especially sitting in a car. Like, yeah, I didn't mean to make you do that. So we'll circle back up. We'll get her back next week when she's back down in the Detroit area, and she can join us on camera, and we can slam some meads and have a good time. So. I'm sorry. I'm going to text her.
No. Yeah. It's all your fault. Well, we can continue on with a still mead related show.
That's fine by me.
We can continue on with a bunch of different things. How we our show the year, because we sort of have that planned out.
Yeah, I almost think though that we just need to go grab some seltzers and start going. But
No.
If I had any seltzer,
I wish.
at
Yeah, I was
home,
gonna say.
I sadly do not.
sorry, I'm not paying attention.
Here we go. Jordan, you back?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can now. You died for a second there.
I was gonna say I saw it. It never froze up on my end.
Oh.
Like I saw my thing blink once, and then that was it. And I was like, "No, we're losing Jordan." I'm like, "No, I'm here. Hi."
We can have a show on ISPs and internet connectivity, and how to properly build a computer capable of doing a live show.
Yeah.
No. So. Yeah.
So what have you been? You've got your cider that you made with your neighbor. What else have you been doing lately?
So my last actual beer brew day was an Oktoberfest, probably about 3 weeks ago. We're losing Jordan again too.
I'm here. Hello.
This show is such a shit show.
This kind of reminds me of there were a couple of streams that I tried to go live from Beer Cup, and they were horrible. It was me screaming and it was Lord knows what.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I keep saying like I get like this weird connection problem up top. I don't know what's going on. I've never had this issue before, so I don't know what the deal is.
I think this show is destined to be deleted. I don't know. It's on
We'll see.
Brian, I was saying you're slacking, man. You used to brew like twice a week. It's been 3 weeks since your last beer day.
I know. So it's been cold and wet and rainy, and I've had stuff to do every weekend. I've had my cousin got married. My Shayna's stepsister got married. We've had there's a Halloween party coming up. There's just for being wet and nasty and gross, October has been so freaking busy. But then I've had mead going, taking up space in my fermentation chambers. I got the cider that we talked about from pressing my neighbor's apples. I got cider from Houston Farms. This last weekend, I got pear juice from Houston. And
Wait, they had pear?
They had pear. They didn't post it. They only posted it on their Facebook group. They had 100 gallons.
God damn it.
They might still have some.
If it was last week, it's probably not there. I'm trapped at home.
They weren't selling it in bulk. I went to their store there, and I had to ask one of the cashiers if they had any, and he went into the back room and brought out 5 1-gallon jugs for me. Oh. So it's possible you still have some.
I was gonna say, I was there yesterday. I didn't see any in the cooler when you said it was in individual jugs, but I didn't ask. I didn't, and I wasn't there to even buy cider. I was just picking up some squash, but yeah.
The pear juice. This is something I meant to ask Gail. I'm calling it a sizer for now. I mixed in enough honey, all orange blossom, to get up to around like 11, 12 or something like that. Maybe even a little bit higher. I'm looking for, somewhere like a 15, 16% mead, but it tastes, the pear juice kind of tastes like cider, but it's obviously pear. And if you look at the BJCP categories for entering, meads and stuff like that, a mead made with pear is technically considered a melomel. They specifically call out apples for sizers. Nothing else. And they specifically call out pear for melomel. But this is like pear juice, and so I'm like, I don't know. And I wanted to ask Gail, if it's going to be one of those things where, if it tastes like a sizer and it smells like a sizer, then you call it a sizer. Like, is that being inauthentic even though it was made with pear juice? I don't know.
I don't know if it tastes like Berliner advice. I call it a Berliner.
I know. Right. Made with Fruit Loops, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. My goal, I want to have like a high ABV mead that's kind of warming, still clean, but I wanted to have like a little bit of a full body, and I want it to be kind of like a peach brandy-ish. Obviously, that's like distilled. You're not going to get quite that taste out of it, but that's kind of what I want. So we'll see how it goes. This is my first delving into the sizer world.
Right on. No, I mean, I'm super excited to try it. I mean, it's gonna be good. I'm sure. You'll dump it.
Yeah. So yeah, just I have a ton of stuff going on, just nothing quite beer related.
I was gonna say the only thing that I've got going on is because I've been even more slacking. It's like a friend of ours, Ryan, brought me like 6 gallons of cider that they pressed over in Port Huron a few weeks ago, and by the time I got it, it was already working. So I just transferred it to a fermenter and let her go. And she's currently sitting at about 10-16, but I left it in the garage. I was just curious to see what the hell it was going to do. Yeah. So I might bring it in and warm it up a little bit and see if I can get a few more points out of it. But I think so it's completely 100% wild ferment or natural ferment. Whatever was in the apple juice when they pressed it is what kicked it off. It's super cool. It's a little funky. I think it's going to be one of those that I just need to like put in a vessel and put it away.
Forget about it for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it needs to age. Get a year on it or something. So that's the only thing I've got going. I've been lazy.
Yep. So. I've got I just kegged my 2 ciders that I had from Husted. Got a hydromel that I put in a keg too. That's about it. I've got a bunch of dextrose coming in, so should be good for Thanksgiving.
For Cider Town.
Seltzer Town.
Seltzer.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that a new hydromel?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep. I've got 5 gallons of 12% seltzer in the basement, seltzer base, just chilling there. Being its 12% bad self. Might
There you go.
have to break that out for Thanksgiving. So it's going to be the week after Thanksgiving. You think?
You guys doing a Friendsgiving thing again this year?
No, we're trimming it down to a much smaller event this year. We've got my stepdaughter coming back into town with her girlfriend, so we're gonna kind of keep it small to the family for that. Yeah, not doing a Friendsgiving, but I mean the week before, I guess we could do the holiday seltzer show
The 22nd.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right, we'll get that planned for sure.
So the other things that we've got going on is we've got to figure out when to brew.
No, yes.
Bubblegum?
Seagump IPA.
Seagump. This is going to be their Christmas present at this point.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get together and brew Seagump. And then we'll have a Seagump show. So we should figure out a weekend where we can get the Rosses together. Let's send them a message. Let's see, what in the hell, Rosses?
We're going to organize the rest of our shows for the year live on stream and enjoy everyone. Yeah.
While we drink. Yeah, this is our
anybody that's in stream that wants to join us on the show and drink.
Yeah.
Send us a message.
Yeah.
Send you a link.
Yeah. Brandon, Sherry, Ron.
Yeah, you guys want to come on the air and drink.
Three others of you.
Yeah. Shayna's probably one of them.
There's a handful.
Get her on here.
Yeah.
She's probably like hands deep in rabbit fur right now.
All right. The Rosses are being messaged.
All right, cool.
That's great.
I was like, what do you guys have planned? Do you have anything else planned for the year? Like have any goals, brewing wise that you wanna complete before end of the year?
I have like a whole list of stuff that I got to do. So Jason, Drew, and I made a mead for the Michigan Homebrew Festival, and I think we came home with maybe 2 gallons of that. So I have to get that out of a keg and bottle that. And then Shayna and I made a piment with cotton candy grapes.
You've done that once before.
If we did that once before, this one's far less sweet. It's still sweet, mind you. It's maybe like 1032, but it's not like 1070 or something like the other one was. It's much more drinkable, I think. And I think we use more grapes too, so it's a little bit more tannic. It feels like there's just a little bit more like structure to it. You can drink it and it's not just like this is just a flabby sugar drink with alcohol, which it can be appealing. But so we're gonna bottle that soon. Bill and I did a peach and blackberry dessert mead, and that's about ready to be bottled.
Oh wow.
That probably needs a little bit more time to age in bottles. It's good right now, but it's still a little alcoholic. Not in a terrible way or anything like that. It's just it's not really off. It's just very warming, even with as much sugar as it has.
What kind of honey did you use for these meads?
So the cotton candy mead was an orange blossom base, and then we back sweetened it with Tupelo.
Okay.
Because we did a whole bunch of bench trials with different honeys. I think we tried like 8 different honeys, all mixed in to some of the base mead with tongue depressors. And it's funny actually, if you use a tongue depressor, we only kind of discovered this on accident to mix those trials together. You actually get a little bit of like wood flavor in the mead too, so you can sort of get an impression of what it would be like if you added like a little bit more like tannins to the mead with wood or something like that.
Interesting.
It was quite good. Funny enough. I'm gonna make a mead and age it on tongue depressors one of these days. And I'm gonna win a medal with it, and then I'm gonna smile. But so yeah, Orange Blossom and then Tupelo for that. Orange Blossom's the base that I use for most of anything that's not a traditional, honestly. Unless it's like, something with spices, just because I don't know, when you use a lot of fruit, I feel like a lot of those flavors just get covered up, like the delicate flavors, and it's almost better just to back sweeten, I guess, a little bit with the varietal rather than start with something crazy and expensive and have it ferment out and have all those flavors be, lost to fruit or whatever anyway.
I mean, are you finding Orange Blossom as cheap as or cheaper than Wildflower?
It's probably usually just a touch more, but not much. That and Orange Blossom is generally a little bit more standardized in taste. I think like you can get like Florida Orange Blossom and like California Orange Blossom, and they do taste different. I couldn't tell you how. I'm not that experienced yet. But when you order Wildflower, that is just totally up in the air because Wildflower is basically
whatever.
Yeah, not non-specific honey from whatever region of wherever. And that taste can vary wildly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of Orange Blossom. And then we also have a 100% peach mellow going right now. That was with Orange Blossom and 25 pounds of peach that Shayna wants to make a peach cobbler mead with. So we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with that and how to do that. It finished, it's probably like 16% right now and finished at like 10:30. So we're going to add like some brown sugar back to it, some vanilla, some cinnamon, and probably maybe like graham crackers or like Nilla wafers or something.
Vanilla wafers. That sounds better.
Yeah, we're not sure. But something like that. And so that'll be our first kind of experiment with like lots of adjuncts and stuff like that in a mead. But even for as young as it is and alcoholic as it is, it's quite good right now. So I think if we were just to clear it out and age it, like it would be a really good peach mead, but it should be pretty fun as a peach cobbler mead.
Did you buy like canned peaches or did you go buy a bunch of peaches and hand cut them?
Yeah, so these are from the peach truck. So all the peaches that we used with Bill and mine are blackberry and peach mead. Those are peach truck peaches too. We
never heard of this peach truck.
Oh, there's some good peaches.
Is this like a local thing? Like I know nothing of it.
They have this thing called the peach truck, and they literally drive like semi trucks full of Georgia peaches up from Georgia around the country. And there's events where you go and like you get your peach truck peaches, and like the delivery was at Waddell's this year for us, and it was just the line. It took me 15 minutes to get through the line.
Is that what that huge ass line was? I drove by Waddell's a while ago, and people were like lining up at like 7 because I was dropping Charlie off in the morning. I was like, "What on earth is going on there?"
And the funny thing is, you've got to like pre-order them, so you've already bought your peaches. You're there, and then it's just kind of getting in line to pick them up. So it's not like you're like, "Oh, am I going to get my peaches?" But
yeah.
Interesting. Did not know that. Okay.
I chop them up into like slices, and not like quarters or anything like that, like literally top down. And Shanna and I probably did all 25 pounds in half an hour, 45 minutes maybe. It was super sticky.
That's not bad. I mean, I figured like chopping 25 pounds. Are you throwing the pit in and all, or what?
Oh yeah, no pit.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so pitting, yeah, it took more time too, but
So I guess just to clarify, this is 25 pounds of peaches pre-cut.
yes, it was
Okay.
actually probably closer to 22 after.
Okay.
After all the pits were removed. But yeah, threw them all in a big grain bag, and then threw them in the freezer, and then thawed them out. And just break down some of those cell walls in the fruit to make it, easier for the yeast to, get at those sugars, and fermented it like I would anything else. For this one, I did use a big nylon bag. The bag I bought specifically oversized to fit in my bucket, and so that I could tuck it down in there just a little bit. But because the peach just turns to mush.
Yeah.
And then when I just racked from outside the bag. And it made it super easy just to get the liquid in while leaving all the peach gunk.
Smart. That's good.
Yeah, still in there.
Smart. Yeah.
Any fruit that I use that has small seeds, like raspberries, blackberries, I'll use a nylon bag like that for. Makes it way easier. But things like cherries, blueberries, I don't bother.
So you're just doing like a brewing bag?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on.
Yeah, I specifically bought one of the official brew in a bag bags. They're like $40 or something like that, but they last you forever.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And you can specify like what
Micron.
Thank you. What micron you want? I think the ones I bought are. Let me check. I want to say 400, but they might be 800. I did all this research to try to figure out like how big, or small should I go and whatever.
It's funny because I need to start doing that, especially using the Speedles now where I can position it inside or whatever. The last beer I did with fruit was my cherry IPA for Bell's, and even with the cherries, which are normally pretty good to get like liquid out, but I don't know, these mushed up for some reason, and it was just a pain in the ass. And I need to start lining my buckets with or Speedles or whatever with one of those. So
400 micron works perfect.
Yeah,
so
right.
I just went and looked, and you can order them in like custom sizes and stuff. So just I have like a 7-gallon. A couple 7-gallon plastic buckets that I normally use for fermenting mead that's going to have a bunch of fruit in it, specifically because it makes it easier to punch the mead down or the fruit down, the fruit cap. And yeah, I fit it in, and yeah, it works great. When you're done and you need to clean it, you just flip it inside out, you rinse it off, and then next time before you want to use it again, just boil it for a little bit, just to clean more of the gunk off of it and sanitize it at the same time, and you're ready to go.
Oh, it's good. It's a neat idea. I'm ordering a couple right now. Not that I'm brewing anything anytime soon. I have this dream. I want to do. I really want to do a graph this year with some cider, but I just need to get off my ass and do it.
I have not done a graph in probably 3 years now, and I don't know why, because I liked the last one that I made so much. I don't know. It's just I feel like I've always had other things that I've been doing with my cider.
So so I've had this dream for a couple of years to do. I think we talked about before the stouted cider idea that I had, which would just be a graph with some dark malts.
Doesn't Blake's have a stouted cider?
I think they do now. I think we talked about. That. Yeah, they came out with it after. Not that it was like my invention or anything.
Right.
No, because we had the episode. We had Ron on, and he wasn't on. But Drew. He just mentioned snake bite. Ron was in the comments and mentioned snake bite. And And no, this isn't like this is more of a I'm envisioning a traditional graph, like actually brewed, not just a hard cider mixed with a stout. But I would like to go down and get, before the season's over, so in the next probably week or so, I'd like to go down and get 5 gallons of cider and do the stouted version or stouted graph. And then I was actually laying in bed last night looking up recipes or different ideas for a hopped graph. So,
Yeah.
but I think, if I get 5 gallons of cider and split it, I can get 2 graphes out of it. Just got to figure out the rest of the logistics to turn it into just one brew day.
So if you do a hopped graph, like, is it going to be like an IPG?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe pale graph.
Yeah.
No, that's on my goal. Like that's honestly the only thing I've got on my mind right now this year. I mean, in reality, by November, for those homebrewers or keepers that are watching, by November you should be identifying what you're brewing for next brew season and getting on it. Like you should have your calendar going.
Yep,
you should,
that's true.
Especially if you're going to be doing any dark beers or beers that require some aging. So I really should be figuring out what's going to be in my 2022 brewing calendar. But
especially if you're brewing for NHC.
Yes.
Because those entries are usually due like March or April.
Yeah, they sneak up on you. Like, so a lot of the big comps are going to start opening up in early in the year. And then, with NHC in particular, you don't have a very big window from the time that they're like, yeah, great. You entered your beers by February 10th. Cool, ship them out by the 21st or something like that.
You're not signing up and then brewing for that competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta plan ahead.
The 2022 rules and regulations and the dates and timelines are coming out in November. So
yeah,
perfect.
Be on the lookout for those.
But that is what, as homebrewers we should be doing right now, is actually, figuring out what we're brewing for next year's competition season. I mean, it's going to be a little weird, for us Michigan people. It's kind of funny that Siciliano's actually is going on right now, and usually that's another early one that I have to get ready for.
I really wanted to submit to that one, and I signed up, and then blew my keg.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I
had
just
one beer. That was it.
I think I got on the plane to California and remembered I didn't turn it in, and then I got the nice email from Steve today to say, hey, you didn't submit your entry. Are you going to or not? And I have to send him back and say I'm not.
Yep. I already did that because I was sad. But
yeah,
as what happens as a home brewer and you have Uno beer on tap, it goes quick.
You end up pulling the same tap every night for a while. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah, man, we got to get back to brewing, Jordan.
It's
if schedules get back to right, so the same thing, like if you're going to brew a stout or an old ale or barley wine or any of the aged kind of styles, even beer cup, that should be in your fermenter pretty quick, because beer cup's coming up in 6 months, so you're going to have to sign up for that, so you need time.
I want to say even that the stout that I brewed, that I meddled with at Michigan Homebrew, I want to say I brewed that in November or December the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like your bigger beers or darker beers that will just get better with a little bit of age. I mean, even if you're planning on a competition later in the year, now is the time, really.
The same thing could be said, since this was originally a mead show. Michigan Mead Cup's coming back, and September, October of next year, you should be getting on your mead calendar. So that's I think on my agenda for the next couple of weeks, is to try to figure out what I'm brewing for 2022 and getting it going. I'm out of looper, so I kill some Fruit Loops here real soon.
Do you guys so Gail, before she had to leave, she was talking about the mead maker of the year, and she was talking about the circuit. Do you have you heard about that? Do you know what she's talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So
for those,
talked about it once, but give us a
yeah, no. So for those not in the loop, and I had to pull it up just to make sure I remembered all of the competitions, but basically there are, and again we'll let Gail talk about this again, next week or when we have her back on again too. But there are 7 competitions across the U.S. Where points are tallied up, and basically out of the 7 competitions, the person that takes the most points, the most medals out of all these competitions is named mead maker of the year. There can be only one. So there is the Mazer Cup, which I believe is happening now or next week, or sometime really soon.
Right.
There's the Valkyrie's Horn, which happened a couple weeks ago. Valhalla happened maybe like a month ago or something. I think people have been posting their medals from Valhalla, so that was pretty recently. Michigan Mead Cup, which I think Jason, you said was last weekend, right? Maybe
October
the weekend before.
16th is when they judged and announced. Yeah.
Okay. There's the midwinter something. I can't remember exactly what it's called. The Minnesota Mashout, and then NHC, which is huge. If you get your points at NHC, it should, in my opinion, give you a little bit of an extra boost. But yeah,
just be like difficulty points on top of that.
Yeah, right. But gold medals are worth 6 points, silver medals are 4, bronze are 2, and then any best of show, first best of show, is an additional 4 points. So, yeah, I think it would be really cool.
You're going to run for it next year. Right?
No, I don't know. I don't think next year. So the issue is, right, it's seven competitions.
Yep.
And at a minimum, each of those competitions is going to require probably 3 bottles of mead. And then if you consider that, maybe each competition is going to allow you, I don't know, say like 5 entries, 5 entries times 3 bottles, times 7 competitions. That's like 105 bottles of mead. And mead is expensive to make,
Yep.
And
so it turns out that you can buy fame right there.
Yeah. So it is not something that a lot of people are probably running for, because 1, you have to be, at least relatively confident in your ability. And 2, you have to, you kind of have to have a little bit extra cash to be able to throw at it and be like, okay, I'm bottling up 20 bottles of this batch,
and I'm not going to drink any of it.
And I'm not going to drink it. Yeah, and I may not even meddle with it. So there are some people out there that are, you watch these mead competitions and their name will pop up, quite a few times. We saw that at NHC, I think, during the meads, there were some names that popped up quite a few times. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I think we were talking about it earlier. I don't have I don't think I have that in me right now. Like this year with all the other things going on. I mean, I love trying your mead and hearing what you're doing. It gets me excited, but I know that like I've like avoided going on those honey sites, and I see those. Actually, I think I snoozed one of those groups on Facebook that was like, that where that guy's posting from Hawaii, like, $50 shipped or whatever. And
Sean Harris. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find myself laying in bed at night going like, I could just buy 500 pounds of honey and go. And
has some good stuff. I think I have his Lahua, his coconut, his coffee blossom, and I think I might have another one of his honeys too. But
Yeah, I need to brew. I didn't. Yeah. I'm yeah. I need to get caught up on my brewing first before I do that. So we'll see. Life will settle down next year, maybe, and
Yep.
I'll get back into brewing. So homebrewers, especially keepers, since we've got some hardware that we have to defend now, figure out your brewing calendar and get to brewing. That goes for you guys, Jordan.
Yeah,
You need to pull your weight.
I'm trying.
The medals. We did well though this year as a keeper. I mean, of course, we've got Michigan Homebrew Club of the Year, and then we also, as a club, took the most points in the Michigan State Fair, which will hopefully
Nice.
have a medal awarded to us next year for that.
Yeah, because you bullied him into creating an award so we could win it.
Whatever. I wouldn't call it bullying. It was a suggestion. He took it. We're good.
Yeah.
So actually, let's do that since I've got to make a post. I'm gonna talk about this real quick, even though.
Let's do it.
Hold on. Let me get the info in front of me. Brian, you know where I'm going?
No, but while you're doing that, I pulled up the dates from NHC last year. Registration opened mid-February and ended early March, and shipping was not long after that. So definitely have to be on the lookout.
Right.
Yeah, shipping and drop off was late March through early April. So
I'm going to do a little housekeeping, and there is a post. We're going to put a post out for this in the very near future. But why not throw it an hour into a throw-off show?
Yeah, why not?
But if we go back a few weeks ago, we had Blair Bowman Jr. from the Michigan State Fair on the air with us. We were having a good time. We were drinking beer. We were talking about the Michigan State Fair competition. And Blair made the joke in passing, and I really do believe that it was an off-the-cuff statement, that the winner of the Michigan State Fair Cup, Mark K. I'm sorry, Mark, I'm not going to butcher your name. But he made the joke that Mark didn't actually brew that beer, that it was actually Mark's wife that brewed the beer. And that's actually, it was something that Blair misunderstood. It was like an anecdote that Mark was telling him. He was actually telling him, I believe, that I brewed that beer for my wife, not my wife brewed the beer. So Mark reached out. He heard the show, and he wanted to set the stage right, which I totally agree with. So we're doing it. I'm going to do it on the air here. So I looked in some different things. We went back to see if we could edit the show and change the audio and take out the clip. But what's done is done, and we really can't do that. We're not that technical. We don't get paid for this. So I'm gonna say it here. Mark was actually the brewer of the Michigan State, the award-winning Michigan State Fair Beer Cup, and we'll put a little blurb post out there. I got a text from Blair Bowman. He's incredibly apologetic to Mark and didn't mean that. It was just an off-the-cuff, story. We laughed about it. There was nobody really believed it anyway. So Mark, we apologize that happened on the air, and we'll get something officially out. But Mark Kansuwiski is the official brewer of the Michigan State Fair Homebrew of the Year. That's the show, right?
Yep.
Anything else? Cool.
Good job, Mark.
Yeah, good job. So not Mark's wife. Mark, great job. We'll get a post up in the very near future. Again, this isn't our day job, so bear with us.
I do. Did you by chance ask him how he came to hear that? Because
really, great email from him. Really appreciate him reaching out. So it was a few weeks that went by, and this is a good plug, right? So our podcasts are now available on all the major platforms. I believe Apple, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify.
Yeah.
So you can go out there and you can listen to us bullshit at your leisure and act like we know what the fuck we're doing. We don't. And so that's what Mark had done. Like a few weeks later, he downloaded the Michigan State Fair episode, and he heard, Blair made that joke, and I think I didn't go back and listen to it. I think we laughed at it. Like,
so
whatever.
it wasn't like somebody went off to Mark
No,
be like, "Hey,
no.
Mark, they're bad talking you on Michigan Brews."
No.
It's like,
Nobody
well,
was, dude.
thanks, Mark, for checking out our podcast and checking out the show. I'm sorry that was hopefully not your first experience with us, but
no, and I really do. I want to have Mark on the show in the future. I was thinking about something next year. As the big best of show trophy winner. We want to support those guys, and I even think I gave him my card at the state fair. But we kind of had our schedule for this year built out. So sometime next year we'll reach out. We'll get Mark on the show. We'll set the record straight and have him tell his side of the story. And then maybe we'll have I'll get Blair to dial in real quick and debase himself in front of Mark. So
drinking. So larger idea. Maybe that's just something we do. For 2022 is try to get a hold of like all the Michigan big competition winners and just be like, hey, you won, Michigan State Fair. Come on, Michigan Brews. Maybe we can toss that in as. Maybe if we put it as a prize, people won't want to win. But
if we do that, Jordan, we're going to wind up like having an episode where we have to talk to Brian like exclusively about.
We do that anyways. That's half of this show.
How many medals did you win this week, Brian?
Just one.
One. Slow week at the office. But no, So Mark listened to our show on the podcast. He's one of the few people that downloaded it. Thank you, Mark, for that. And really, from the bottom of our hearts, and Blair too. I know Blair's a great guy, and he really did not mean anything by that. So. We were drinking, we were joking. We're sorry that came off that way, but we'll get a post up, and I'm sure Blair will add a note to it too. So,
and that goes to show, like, we, as Jason said, this is all fun and games. We bullshit, but if somebody out there, needs to set a record straight on something, like Mark, do it.
Most of the time it's us though, like we have a cider show where we act like we know what we're talking about, and then Andrew Blake comes on and obviously educates us that we don't.
That's 90% of our shows.
We got a bronze and a silver collectively in Glint Cap this year, so dude, we're not doing too bad.
It's one of my prettier medals.
It's very shiny. It's the shiniest medal I have.
It is, and they engrave it, which is super sweet of them that do that. I mean, like sweet, like cool sweet, not like. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's super cool of them that they engrave it. I got a Glint Cap medal, and just because I'm geeking out about it, it's the same medal that the pros get. So I've been in competitions. Cool. Yeah, I've been in competitions where there's like a pro version that's like bigger or more elaborate, and then the homebrew version. But I was actually at Blake's, and I saw Blake's silver medal hanging on his bottle on his shelf, and then I get the same medal in the mail for my little Perry. So I was nice. I was pretty impressed by that. So yeah, Glint Cap's badass. Brian medaled there, and then what else? You've had a great year, really. I know. Now we're pivoting again, but
I don't even know. Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember. 4 medals at the Michigan State Fair. 1 big national motherfucker. 3 medals at Valkyrie's Horn. 2 medals at Michigan Mead Cup.
1 at Michigan Mead Cup.
1 Michigan Mead Cup and 1 at Glint Cap. 1 at Michigan Beer Cup.
2 at Dominion Cup.
2 at Dominion Cup. Oh, wait. You even took a O'Connor's, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they give you. Do they give you medals for those? I can't. I think only can take gold, right?
Last year.
I got a bronze in O'Connor's. Yeah, Jordan got 2 last year from O'Connor's. I think he got second best of show, maybe, and first in porter or stout or something.
Yeah, I got first in pale ale, and then
pale ale.
third best of show.
Oh,
My three little medals on my wall. So cute. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get there.
To shoot it back down a little bit, this is something I haven't even told you guys yet, though. I brewed a Czech Pils recently that overwhelmingly got the same comment by a lot of different people. I'm not going to share what that is on the show because actually I'm sending it in to Dr. Homebrew. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. It's it's a show on the Brewing Network. And it's 3 BJCP judges. It's a great show. They have a great podcast. I think they're like 200 episodes in. Each show they sit down with 2 brewers, and each of the judges goes over their score sheets for the beer, and they bullshit about the beer and talk to the brewer and stuff. And brewing a really clean lager has never been super easy for me. And this particular beer has a particular flavor in it that I can't taste, but everybody else can. So I'm going to send it in and see if they think that it's like a process, if it's the hops or whatever. I'm scheduled to record with them mid-November. So it'll be a live show. I don't know if they schedule them out in advance on Facebook, but I will let you guys know when
that'd be super cool.
Yeah, so I will be on somebody else's show for 20 minutes.
That's super exciting.
My beer fucking score ass handed to me.
I was just gonna say that's gonna be super exciting to listen to Brian's beer get fucking ripped up by somebody else. No, I'm just giving you shit. No, that's cool. I won't say it either. Then I don't taste it though. I didn't taste it either, and I think I've had that a couple of times. I'm pretty sure I've had it at your house directly from the tap a while ago, right? How long did you brew that beer?
6 to 8 weeks, I want to say.
I feel like in one of those times that I stopped by, I had it. And then I had it at our meeting a couple weeks ago.
The score sheet from Stormcloud Brewing for that little mini competition, they called it out, which is the only. After that, I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna send this off. And part of it's because I don't know. I think it'd be fun to be on their show.
Absolutely, that's super cool.
Yeah,
I want to go find some shit in my basement to send them so that they can rip up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say thank you for exposing me to that, because I will definitely next time I have a beer, because I've found that I might be blind to a lot of flavors. For instance, Brian, that mead you let me, toss in on that. There's not a lot of shit that the judges that they said that they tasted. I don't get any of it. I even went back and tasted it again. I don't get any of it. So I'm starting to learn that there's a lot that my palate is blind to.
Same.
Yeah, but I don't think so on this one. I feel like I'm actually sensitive to that flavor because I taste it in not all my beers. I taste it and I get pissed off about it too. So I'm curious to see what they say. I'm really excited for you. Let us know, and maybe we can do some cross promotion or something on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to know that Brian's not perfect.
As much as I try.
Right.
I will say that I don't think I've had a dumper in a couple years now. The last beer that I can remember actively dumping was a Vienna lager that I made with some kind of Kvike yeast. I think it was Oslo. And it just tasted like, I don't know. It was not good.
My last beer that I brewed, I ended up dumping. It was Oktoberfest. Sad Panda.
What happened to it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't taste right. I let it sit for a while. I think I brewed it in late August, early August, somewhere around there. I know it's a huge time frame, but can't remember exactly when. And Yeah, I let it sit till I want to say just early October here, and ran it through, and it just did not. There was something wrong with it. Don't know what it was. I mean, it didn't. It's not like it got infected or anything. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's just one of those things, that those styles, and that's again one of the notes that I got on my score sheets from that mead. Fermentation control. I've gotten that a few times. I know that, like, Jason, you're a brewer who doesn't use it. You do extremely well. I'm just thinking that I can't anymore. So that's probably going to be one of my next big brew purchases.
I used to joke around about that because I did really well for a long time. I've got dozens of medals and I've never temperature controlled anything. But I also acknowledge now, like, if I really wanted to step up my game, which I have to now, if I want to get a national medal and beat Brian, it's like one of the only other things I can do. And so I was thinking about that earlier this week, going, I need to clean out that storage room. I've got my brew room. I've got all the space for it. I've let it kind of slip into just mass storage and filled up that space. But I need to get back on that and brew my fermentation chamber, or build my fermentation chamber. Did I just say brew my fermentation chamber?
Yeah.
I mean, one thing you can, instead of doing something like that, if you wanted to invest long term, you could just look into glycol chilling too, which may not be the worst. You invest in a nice glycol chiller, and you can have 4 beers going at the same time, cold crash them. You don't have to have a bunch of freezer space being taken up.
See, that's my problem, and I might look into this because
it's more of an investment.
I have a tendency to brew en masse. Like, I just had 2 meads on. I got 2 ciders. If I, those are all kegged now, but they were all kind of sitting out, in my basement at the same time. And if I could have temperature controlled them all, at very least, I know the meads, got one mead got marked to where it probably could have used that. So yeah, that's
what he's telling you, Jordan, is instead of going out and building that $200 to $300 fermentation chamber, figures. You should totally go out and build, that $3,000 fermentation chamber.
Oh, okay.
You can build your own glycol chiller for like $300 with like an air conditioner. If you feel comfortable doing that, you just kind of have to take it apart and like bend a piece of copper and stick a radiator inside. Like
simple, but I feel like it's going to be that wood burning thing with the microwave.
Like blowing up your house. Or,
it's nothing. It's something that I would do because I would break things. But a nice glycol chiller is only like $800.
Well, that's just for the chiller, right? So it's $800 just for the unit. Now you've got, like you just said, let's get 4 units. So we either need to do jacketed, or we need to get metal fermenters and coil them ourselves. So you're probably looking into the $300 to $400, $500 range for every vessel that you want to cool with that glycol chiller. That's $800, maybe more.
I don't think there's got to be like a Speedle.
What are you gonna do?
Glycol chiller.
Wrap vinyl tubing around your Speedle? No.
Oh, it goes right into it. Yeah. So there's this cool sticks thing for Speedles. It looks like it's maybe like $140. Oh no, that's not it. I don't think that's what we want. Never mind. There's got to be something.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm with you, Brandon. We're gonna stick with Speeder. Let me throw that up there. Stick with your freezer a little while longer.
I mean, I am too, but once it dies, I'm probably going glycol.
We can't all afford to throw, $500 on honey. I mean on the glycol chiller.
I was gonna say, like,
you just gotta wait for the 20% off deals.
SS Brewtech apparently sells a unit that does. Where is I was just reading it. It should be able to keep 5 14-gallon tanks at 35 degrees. And that is $1,200.
But really, in my house, my problem's the other way around. I feel like if I'm setting up a temperature controller, I'm actually probably more concerned with keeping it warm, like where I want to put it. Like I'm finding that I'm moving my beer around the house to keep it warmer so that it doesn't stall out. Like I fermented a lot of beer up here in my second story office last year. But again, I keep my house freaking cold. So
you see, that was me when we before we had a kid. Was the house, like, we'd let it crash down to 62 65 degrees inside the house, which means my basement was probably sitting into the high 50s, if not 60, which is ambient. That's probably fine for temp. But since we've had a kid, like our variance is like 68 to 72, like constantly. Like that's where we sit. So, and I mean, I used to run a space heater in the summer down here because it would still get cold, and I haven't turned it on at all. So
I keep my house 68 year round, which puts my basement in the summer in the probably in the mid to high 50s at times. It's really
it's freaking cold.
Yeah.
And then I actually thought about it, like I leave the speedo sitting on the floor, which is, a eighth of an inch of vinyl and then concrete, so there's the heat exchange there is probably crazy. So I have been moving them upstairs just to keep them warm. So I'd like to build a fermentation chamber in my basement. Of course, I'll insulate the bottom, but it's more to, I feel like I don't need a chiller so much as I need an area that I can keep,
it's just something that's insulated.
And it's probably, I don't even need probably a heater either. Like once it's insulated and kept away from the basement, the beer, the yeast itself is going to kick off the heat enough that it'll probably keep it warm enough. But I feel like on my side, I'm stressing the yeast out by making it stall from being too cold. Like, that wild cider that I've got going outside while it's in the garage.
That's why you make such good beers. You're pseudo-lagering everything.
Everything. You would think that would be cool, but most yeast don't like that. But I mean, my solution to it over the years has been to just, move it from room to room, ferment in my living room, ferment in my office, which I'm sure makes my wife super happy that, there's just totes with beer, sitting in various locations of the house.
Right.
Fermenting.
And see, that could be part of my problem with my basement. I've been keeping my buckets in one spot because we use our basement a lot. The layout of my basement isn't the greatest, so there's like certain areas where you can walk. So there's not and we have a lot of storage built down here. So like the buckets really only have a few spots where they can go. So I've kind of been keeping them where they are more easily accessed. And I just think that it's not great, not a great spot. So kind of
that's the beauty of being an empty nester, man. When I'm brewing beer, there's fermenters sitting right in the middle of my damn living room.
Yeah. No, I am about as far away from an empty nester as I can be. So yeah, no, fermentation chamber is probably in my future. I'm not quite sure. What I want to do. Well, yeah. Well, I've been thinking about buying a like the Rosses have that, 10.5 cubic foot chest freezer. I've been thinking about buying that and kind of upgrading my space for my Keyser, and then just using the 7.4 or whatever chest freezer that I have and switching that over to a firm chamber. I just don't know, because I think you can only fit 2 buckets in there.
Yeah, in that size you can.
Yeah. So I think I was like, but at the same time, like, I don't brew that often right now, so like it'd probably be fine to just have 1 or 2 buckets, but I feel like I need more space, but
I started to build out just a frame, a 2x4 frame before wood got expensive anyway. I started to build out like this 2x4 frame that I was just going to kind of build walls out of, like 2-inch thick foam board. And then, for the cooling side, I think you can get a little mini fridge and just kind of saw it in half and tuck it on one side, and then a fan with a little space heater on the other to get you. Or, well, yep. I've seen people use like those herp mats, right? The terrarium mats or whatever. So, I mean, that's to get away from using an old, cooler, freezer, something like that. That was where my mind was going. And that way I can build it, because like the problem with the freezer, you can only fit 2 buckets in because of the width, right? Like I feel like if you had another 2 inches, you could fit 3 buckets in. So mine, when I was building out the base of it, it was intentionally built that I could fit like 5 buckets, and it's not much bigger than a chest freezer. It's just giving yourself a couple more inches.
Right. I will say we're all getting to be a little old these days, and
exactly, and not lifting it in and out of a fucking chest freezer.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna have doors and I can like slide it out.
I was just looking, like I got a futon in my office over here that I don't use except for occasionally. Before I had a kid, I'd pass out on it when I drank too much. So not doing that too much anymore, save maybe the seltzer episodes, which I haven't been a part of. I'm excited. Thanksgiving.
We gotta plan this for Jordan. Yeah.
You're gonna have to buy Andrea flowers and whatnot. No, but I've got this futon that I inherited, and I don't use it, so maybe I'll sell that thing and use the proceeds to frame out a firm chamber.
Actually, what you said resonates, Brian, because I'm pretty sure there was a point earlier this year where my boy was over, and I was like, help me lift this carboy out of this keezer. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I know I did. So, yeah. To call out, if you are young and hale and can lift, 7 up to 7 gallons of liquid, 2.5 feet in the air, Brandon is right. Best Buy chest freezers, which are kind of back in stock now. They were hard to get during COVID, but you can get, I think you can get a 7.2 for like $250.
No, you can get a less than that. Yeah, 150 for sure. I was going to say the 10 cubic foot goes.
That might have been COVID prices, but yeah, they are a good deal.
I'm thinking pre-COVID prices, so somewhere in between. We'll just say that.
That's what I bought when my keezer died. I bought one of the 10 foots for my new keezer. I sent this to Jason the other day. Let me see if I can find it. No, I don't know where I don't know where it is. Never mind. There's this little.
Do you have a vertical monitor now? I keep seeing you look up.
I do. Well, it's
nice.
Not vertical, but
well, I mean, yeah, it's
definitely
stacked
above. Yeah. There was this bulkhead that somebody linked somewhere, and it basically just has like a gas connection on each side, and you could just drill a hole through the top of your chest freezer, screw your gas into the top, and screw your gas into the bottom as well, and then there's just gaskets holding it in place through the lid. I was thinking it's like $25 for the thing, and there's usually no coolant lines running through the top of the freezer.
No, there shouldn't be.
Usually, so I'll have to check that to make sure. But
it's hinges. You shouldn't have
coolant
lines running.
No, you take the lid off. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing running through it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I'm thinking about buying one of those just so I can remove my CO2 tank from the keezer and have it be kind of ran in there nicely, and that'll give me. I don't need another keg in there. I only have 5 taps anyway, but it will give me a little bit of much needed wiggle room because of where I have my regulator placed and stuff. So
yeah,
I actually have 5 things on tap in there right now, and it's rough. It's tight.
Yeah. I've got 4 in mine, and I had a Craigslist freezer for 5 years or so. Not bad for like a $78 purchase.
Yeah.
It lived its life.
Yeah.
But then Best Buy didn't have any in stock at the time, and I had a full Keyser when my Keyser died, and I was like, I need to get this shit on tap like ASAP. Don't want it warming up and whatnot. And so I bought one at Lowe's. I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot, and they had one, and it was like a 7.1 or whatever. And my previous one was a 7.5. Fit 4 kegs pretty easily in the main section, the manifold and whatever on the hump. And this one, not so much. It fits 3 kegs snugly in the bottom, and I have to have things angled pretty precisely to fit a 4th keg on the hump. So yeah, I'm tired of doing that. So I'll probably pick up one of those 10 cubic footers and change this thing over into my firm chamber, or sell it and again use the proceeds to build out a firm chamber.
So what are you doing?
It's us.
That's
the thing.
That's the thing. So drill the hole through. Gas.
Yeah.
Call it good. Yeah.
Call it good. It's neat. I wonder too, like, I'm going crazy. Never mind. It would be cool. I'm trying to think of how it would work in my because mine is so tight. Like, but it almost makes me wonder if I could like put my CO2 under my sink and then run it in, because it is really tight in there. Yeah. So I like the idea.
Does your whole does your collar lift up too, or is it just the lid?
Just the lid. My collar did on my old one, and I realized that I didn't want to do that on my new one because I couldn't. Everything was so heavy that I couldn't get it to stand up on its own. Yeah. Just and so I would have to hold my collar and all the tabs and all of that weight, and then try to lift in a keg with one hand and put it in where it needed to go.
Good shoulder workout,
and it was awful. It was awful. It was nice that all of the tubing was out of the way. Like everything was just in and out. There wasn't a whole lot of crap that I had to deal with, but I much prefer just being able to open the lid.
So on my next build, the way I kind of have it that way right now. I never got it fully finished, but my next build. So my last chest freezer that I sold, even though it was busted, apparently the people who come bought it said that they were just going to use it for horse feed. Okay, they didn't need the hinges when I sold it, so I have an extra set of those nice hinges from my old chest freezer. So I'm going to do it on both. I'm going to have
double hinge that.
Yeah, I'm going to double hinge it. So
Wow,
the top will
that's
be able to come up. So that way I can just quickly get it shit without lifting the whole collar. And then if I need to, lift, kegs and whatnot, I can pull everything up. And that way, since I'll have 2 hinges, it'll still stay tight across the top. So
that's cool.
I did. I glued my collar down. Well, I like caulked it down.
See, that's what I did with my last one. Is the lid was construction glued down on there. I had to use a heat gun and a chisel.
Yeah,
I put shit off.
Weather stripping down, and then I caulked around it. So mine's down there. So I have to pull that up. The link.
This is Brandon's. I can't copy and paste this. I want to look at it, but I'm gonna have to actually type this in. It's such garbage. Hold on, wait. I think I figured out a way to do it. I'm gonna open up Notepad. I copied some stuff out. There it is. I got it.
This has got me excited. We're like years away from moving, but we're in this because Amy and I we're empty nesters now, and we're talking about what's the new house. We don't need the space that we've got now. We need different space, and I'm starting to plan out when we look for a new house, I want this for brewing, and I want this space and different rooms, and
Didn't you just pour a bunch of money into your house?
Well, we've been fixing it up, but
This is like 1/10 the price, $3 for this. I think the other one that I pulled off was So
25.
if you want
That's Amazon for you.
if you want an extra inch, you pay a premium for
That
it. I
extra
guess.
inch.
I actually thought your 4-inch one would be too big.
Yeah, I kind of figured too. It looked a little long.
I'll have to measure. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you'd have to put some spacers in there. So size,
run that through the wood too, or something.
Bigger isn't always better.
Yeah, I figure kind of through the back on the collar would probably be a little more stable than through the top.
Yeah. No, I would go through the back on the collar. I don't want something sticking out the top of my keezer.
Right. Yep.
So if you do that, like my collar, even with the foam board insulator, you're only talking about 1.5, 2 inches tops.
I mean, if you really wanted to get spunky, you could probably find a spot on either of the sides of the keezer to drill through. But
mine is too tight. Brian, I feel like yours is too.
Too what? Tight for where?
For you to take it out the side.
Of the actual keezer, like the base of the keezer. Or the back, I guess. You could go either way. As long as you just can figure out where your coils are, you'd be fine. But
I got to figure out where I want to keep my tank, because my keezer is right next to a shelf, and it's also right next to my sink. So
yeah, see, that's my dilemma. The reason, I haven't bought anything yet, is because I kind of have to reimagine where I'm going to keep everything in my basement. And I'm like, I don't know what I want yet. We've got too many other house projects going on. New deck, new kitchen, new bathroom. That's enough right now.
Wow. Yeah.
It sounds like you just need to buy a new house, Jordan. I'm happy to.
We were really considering it, to be honest. We were, but the housing market is fucked.
Yeah. We're looking for property right now that we can build on in a few years, but
dude, good luck, man. I looked it up just yesterday on Zillow. I think there's 4 properties that have over 5 acres in the entirety of West Michigan.
Wow.
I know. I've found more, but I'm finding that I'm pickier than what's available. There's actually, I want to say there's more than 4 available right now, but they're on water.
Oh, well, yeah. If you want, I was not looking for water, because I was like, what's realistic for me to buy right now?
Well, I mean, no, the prices aren't terrible, but Amy and I don't want to be on water. I don't. Look, the flooding, and especially there was one out on out in the area of Eagle Lake and 8th Street, and I'm like, all I hear or see on the news is those people dealing with flooding and all of that shit. For the last 2 years, I don't want to deal with that. So
yeah, that's actually that Eagle Lake area. Depending on where it's at, there's a lot of high ground around there. If it's out on one of the peninsulas, don't. Yeah. But I mean, I can't remember if it's the west side of the lake. I think is a little higher.
We're trying to find something out towards Vicksburg and Schoolcraft, Vicksburg, that kind of area, and it's just I actually found 7 acres that was really nice, and it did have the river ran through it, the Portage River ran through it, and it was really beautiful. It was 3 miles away from the nearest cable line.
Oh. That's expensive. I will say, Portage Creek has some really nice brown trout.
It is, yeah. I mean, it looked beautiful, but it was my only internet options out there would have been HughesNet.
Oh, I know people who have that.
I'm not going back there. I've done that. I've lived that part of my life.
I'll reserve my opinions.
Yeah. No, I'm not going back. So it's funny. I was talking to the realtor and saying that, so I want this and this and this, and reasonably close internet. So
yeah, yep,
yeah. Anyway, and then someday I'm going to grow up and I'm going to buy this. I'm going to have a space where I can build a brewery like Brandon and have my cool electric brewing rig all set up. And
Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at, like, pie in the sky. Now we need to replace our shed, which I think is like, I don't know, 10 by 16. It's a normal like garden shed. I'm kind of looking at trying to get something that's like 16 by 30. A lot larger that I can section off, run some power to, and then like move all my brew shit out there. And then hopefully have all my like fermentation and whatnot just be out there in a temp controlled area. So now, granted, I have to haul it back into the house, but
I'll send you a
beer
link.
line underground.
Yeah,
glycol chilled beer line.
There we go.
I'll send you a link. I don't want to say it on the air because I don't know if the guy's kosher or not, and I haven't checked it out. But I found a place that is nearby that sells those type of buildings like pre-built, and they'll drop them wherever you want them.
See, the problem
actually
is
really reasonably priced.
If I have to, I have two choices, and I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I either buy a pre-built and then rip up my fence that I just installed last year to get it backed in, or I order somebody who has a kit.
Yeah,
and just drops all the pieces down, and then I just haul them into the back and slap it up myself.
I would say taking a couple of sections of fences down, or even if it's chain link, like taking a side of fence down and restretching the fabric is worth it, man.
All right. Yeah, that's
because I built one once, and I mean they're fine. I enjoy building them, but this place I found, if it's true, if it's real, his prices are not much more than what you can buy the kits for, and they look. His pictures look beautiful. We're actually, when we buy this piece of property, we're actually going to buy one of his buildings to drop it on and turn it into a tiny house.
Oh, there you go.
As a stopgap until we're ready to move.
Perfect.
So I'm looking at that same kind of size. I was looking 12 by 24, 16 by 30.
Oh wait, are you looking at like vacant land?
Yeah.
No building. You want to build now?
No building. Vacant.
Okay, so that explains why I didn't see the properties that you were talking about, because I was looking at
houses. Oh yeah. No, there's no houses available.
No. It's like I said, there was like 4 in the area.
No, vacant. Like totally vacant.
Like 600 and above.
Yeah. I know. As a joke, I think I did the same thing you did. You're right. And Amy and I were looking at something that was like $800K in it, and just to get a house with some land, and it was stupid. So I'm looking for vacant land, just some acreage out in the country.
Welcome to Michigan real estate.
Not too far out in the country, because I do need to be able to work from it at some point. So.
Yeah, it's at some point.
For all your refinancing needs, please visit.
Yeah, exactly. Michigan.
All right. Well, we dragged this on for an hour and a half, and it's a bullshit show. So we need to try to change the episode name.
I'll work on it. Yeah, after
we'll
the
reschedule Gail for next week. And then we've got shit planned for the rest of the year. We've just got to work out the schedule. We got to get with the Rosses, which they won't answer me. And finalize some things. But I think we've drug this shit show on long enough, haven't we?
I mean, I could go on until midnight, so
I know.
I'm just joking.
No.
I will say, I think our viewers have gradually went up.
And it's been steady. For those of you that are just hanging out listening to us bullshit, thank you.
Yeah.
This is why we do this. Who needs guests?
So we'll work on getting Gail back. I'll work on changing the episode title. I'll edit it for the podcast. We'll work on it.
Right on. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go work out and go to bed. So cheers, guys. I'm out of beer. That's why I'm saying this. Really.
Yeah.
I just went and opened a new one, so I guess
I don't have anything handy. So. All right.
Cheers, guys.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Bye.